What is up, party people? It's Dan, your basement guitar superstar. This is another episode of Creator Spotlight, and today I am hanging out with Tinkerbell, who I met through the chats on Ben Coombs' channel. Seems like a really cool dude, so I wanted to hang out with him today. You are watching this the same day it's filmed. It is not live because I don't have StreamYard yet. I'm too lazy to figure it out. So, Tink, thanks for coming on with me, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, brother, it is very mutual. I just can't wait to hang out with you and talk about all things that we do. A lot of fun.
Awesome. Awesome. So for those of you watching, I'm going to post a link to Tinkerbell's channel in the description below. So if you have not subbed to him, he has a guitar channel, obviously, and does some really cool stuff on here. So go hit him up, sub to his channel, follow him on Instagram or wherever else you can. All that. So Tink, talk to me about how'd you get started playing guitar back in the day? Because it sounds like based on your skill level that you've been playing for a while. Am I thinking right?
I started as a teenager, a young teenager, but it was such a different world. My father was playing classical. I picked some of that up from him, and friends were always playing or something, and I kind of fumbled through my high school years. Dragging Squire around with me during the 80s and playing. But when I got to college, it was like everybody played guitar. And for decades, I was a drummer. Like I have a really nice kit downstairs, an English Premier kit. And
Nice.
when people were jamming, I was hitting skins. And I thought that might have been what I was going to do for my whole life. But around 2018, I started playing guitar again. My little dude, Max, was slowing down, and I was trying to do stuff with him, a dog named Max. And that's what started me back in guitar. And before then, I could never play a song. Like, we would make stuff up, make up songs. I've learned someone else's made up song. We never played any type of cover song. And it was Max that was the next big inspiration, along with some of our heroes, of course, that we always talk about. But 2018 was the start of me going back to guitar and starting to play, and pretty serious. Like I spent a lot of time alone, so it was easy to catch up with some people.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like you're like me because I actually started out playing drums when I was 12. Picked up guitar at 18 and then got back into guitar and once the pandemic hit. Haven't looked back. So
I was the same way. And in fact, until that later in life, that 2018, I had one guitar, no amp. Like, I had no equipment to play with. It was like, once it started, it exploded for me. And the pandemic was just a way to seal in and say, let's do this for just like go crazy, just go absolutely bananas with it.
right. Have you played in any bands or anything as a guitarist or not?
In high school, they would have the high school would often have like a coffee house rock after school hours, and I think we did one or two of those, but it wasn't that serious, where we just cut up a couple cover songs and like switched lyrics and stuff.
Oh, sure.
But it wasn't serious, and I wasn't playing that well, that's for sure. In college, we played a couple open mic nights where I was drumming for that, but a lot of it was like parties and stuff like that, where just for fun, small parties, 10, 20 people hanging out, having a good time. Most of the musicians, they're like jumping in and playing with us and stuff. It was more communal and a lot of fun.
Oh, sure.
How about you?
Yeah, I have no desire to play in a band as a guitarist. When I was a drummer, I played in a band called Breaking Even that toured around the Midwest for a while. And that was fun, but now that I have two little kids, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to haul drums up a stairwell. I don't want to be out till 2 a.m.
Right.
Like if I don't get at least 10 hours of sleep a night, I'm a shitty pile of humanity the next day. So
I have been dreaming of playing out, but I don't know how to put it all together. I got to find the right people. And recently connected with one person. If you've ever seen Jared Beach in the chats and all, he and I started hanging out a few times a week, and he is really good and has coordination in bands. So
okay.
it's been awesome hearing.
He's the one you did that live unboxing with, right?
Yes, that's exactly it. That's him.
Okay. Cool.
And he used to tour with a band called Embers Fall. If anybody's interested in that, there's plenty of videos of them, but they broke up. They don't exist anymore.
Okay.
And some other projects now.
Nice. So you mentioned being in high school in the 80s, which surprises me because you don't look that much older than me, and I'm only 37.
How old are you?
37?
37. Right on. I'm 49.
You're shitting me.
No. That's part of being a pixie, you know? Like we don't age.
Oh yeah. Dude, because I thought you were like mid to late 30s or something.
No.
Pixies age well then, I guess.
You do. Never do we're forever young. So
Nice. Which reminds me, how come you go by the name Tinkerbell? I've been curious about that. I think it's cool and unique and stuff. And I actually watched those like fairy movies with my daughter. So
yes. So you're familiar with the character.
yes, very much so.
Some of it does stem from that because I think she has this attitude where everything's wonderful and happy-go-lucky and everything, help everybody and be positive. But, as soon as Wendy's in the picture, she'll just kill her, And I kind of have that dichotomy with me where I have this like good side, evil side. But tinkering with stuff a lot, that kind of come about with it. And there's probably a couple other reasons. I'm probably pretty girly around some people. So
Okay.
it's just one of those handles that came and I just embraced it. About 10 years ago, I used to power lift and compete in that. So you know how the big guy gets called tiny and all that stuff. So it was just one of those things that followed me for many, many years.
Nice.
I love it. I love the name. So
Yeah. See, the only issue I've had with it is like I couldn't remember when we first met in the chats. I could not remember if I was subbed to you yet or not. So I did a search for Tinkerbell, and it took me forever to find your channel. And I'm like, oh god, dang it!
all right, and this might actually be a partial warning. Was Jared recorded a jam that we had played for about a half hour, and he's like, wow, there was a golden minute and a half snippet. So he cut it out and put it on his YouTube channel and said J-Rot and Tinkerbell jamming. Well, YouTube made that video for kids because of my name.
Oh,
and he's had a hard time undoing it. So if you title your video, you might want to just call it Tink or something like that. I don't know.
yeah.
I have never had a problem on my channel, so I don't know why he had such a hassle with YouTube, but maybe sometime in the future, if anything goes in a great way, I might have to change my handle.
Well, I don't know if you have to change it. Maybe like change like the last 4 letters to make them all caps or something.
Yeah, he did do it. He had a couple weird capital letters in it, and they burned them on it. So when it was made for kids, you couldn't subscribe to his channel anymore. You couldn't leave comments. I don't even think you could thumbs up or thumb down the channel.
Wow.
So, yeah, be careful.
Okay.
Tink might be the best.
I think I'll use that instead. So talk to me. What was your first guitar you owned when you got back into playing?
Well, okay. I have never got rid of any of my equipment. A little crazy story was I had to get out of LA one time. I was kind of living on the streets of LA. I had this idea that I could get into MI, and I just wound up there, and there was nowhere to live. I couldn't get a job anywhere. I mean, you could beg for jobs at the McDonald's and the Burger King, and this would have been like 91, 92, and nothing. Nobody's handing anything out, no jobs. So I was just slumming on the streets with some equipment. And I snuck into MI. I got to know some of the kids, and on Fridays they would sneak me in during their performances and rehearsals and stuff. And that was really cool to see that part of life. And so I always had this Squire and a hard case, and they would give you a little Squire 15-watt amp with it. I had to leave the amp in Hollywood. When it was time to go, I took everything I could carry, and I couldn't call that amp anymore. I ended up leaving it back there. But I still have that guitar. It's actually right here.
Nice.
This is my first one. This was bought, a Squire. It's like one of the early 80s, like an 86 Japanese-made Squire. And apparently they're getting to be a little bit of a desirable thing.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
I love it. It's beat up. The frets are getting worn out. There's a couple whacks and dings because I put up with teenager me, and I was off the hook. Like, I was crazy. And I still have it. And this is what I came back to. And I was just playing this over and over and over again. But when Max passed away, I did finally get my first the first new guitar I ever bought in my entire life. And I got a DJ Ashba signature style. And I got it because of the inlays. It's birds on a wire. It's ravens that are like standing, what looks like right on the guitar wires.
Wow, that's awesome.
It is. It's really cool. And it was because of a vision I had right after Max passed, a very strong vision I had when Max passed. And this guitar came to me. Like, it was the world and the fate and everything was like this, you know, it's time to know this one. And this was actually the first guitar I bought and started hammering on it. But after playing it for a while, like, if I had picked it up in a store and it wasn't this inlay design, I don't know that I would have ever ended up with the guitar. It's like I don't love parts of it, especially after getting my hands on a ton of equipment and seeing what's out there.
Right. What brand did you say it is again?
Schecter.
It's a Schecter. Okay.
Schecter DJ Ashba signature. The tuners are pretty good. It has the 1500 Floyd Rose, which I love a lot. It has a Sustainiac in the bridge, and they are a black. I don't know if you've gotten to play with one. There's two little switches here to turn it on and off. When you turn it on, it's basically like an EBO, you know, so you have this, you can just, it's just sustained forever. You can hit the note and go pack a lunch and eat dinner and come back a day later. As long as the battery doesn't wear out, that note will still be holding. Nice. And then the two other switches find little parts of harmonics in it. One's like kind of like mid-harmonic, and then the other one really aggressively finds harmonics. So you could sit there, hit a note, and then your feedback comes real easy. If you're in a studio situation where you don't have that vibrant amp, you know, jamming and moving air where you get the feedback so easy, you just flip a switch and it sounds like, it makes it like there's a wall of GM800s pounding right next to you.
Nice.
I do. And that feels great. I don't love this part of it. It's like it carved out too soon for me. I always feel like my hand comes and hits that. I don't
sure.
So little. That nut needs a little bit of work. But other than that, I do like it. And then they didn't uproute the trem. So it's a little, I have it locked out like an Eddie Van Halen guitar, you know, where I'm not pulling back on it. I can dive down, but it's like they didn't take enough wood away in the back.
Oh, I see.
Trim. That's my only complaint. And then that last button is a kill switch.
Oh, nice.
And those are fun too. Like you can do some stuff with that where you can like go arcade mode and stuff.
Have you had that on the channel yet?
It was, I think I may have done a review for it. It was like the second guitar I pulled a review on with, I did do a review of my first guitar, but it was my first video.
Oh, nice.
And I went back and watched it and I was like, oh my, like I was swearing my face off and I didn't know how I really talked. And I like watched, I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to pull that one and then we'll revisit this guitar later. And I'll do some research on it. You know, it was like a 5-minute video. Maybe the next time I can like understand the year and the date. And I think I looked up the serial number once to try to find out as much as I could about it.
Oh, sure.
Other people were talking, Ron Thorne, that principal master builder.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy that made Thorne guitars, it's like he has one too, and it's his #1 guitar also. I thought that was really cool.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in Cali then, or are you from Pittsburgh initially and you ended up back in Pittsburgh?
I don't my union's in Pittsburgh, but I don't live there. I live about 150 miles away. And if you were to at a little thing of Pennsylvania and you looked where dead center of Pennsylvania is, that's exactly where I live. The University, Penn State is here.
Oh, okay. And State College area then.
Exactly. Yes. And my town is State College. And I was born and raised here. I went to State College High. I went to the first year at Penn State, and then that's when I took off and went to LA, Las Vegas for a little bit, Washington State. And then I went, after I left Hollywood, I was riding the railroad tracks with a bunch of Vietnam vets, learning what they were doing. You know, they were homeless on the side, and I rode with them for a while and learned what they were into. But that took a while. That was like a year and a half or so where I was doing all that. But I got my head back on straight, and then I came back and I got a degree or so from Penn State after that.
Nice.
And I traveled again for a little bit. I became like a snow bum, a ski bum for a while. So
oh, okay.
I was looking at mountains for a while. But there's something about this town and State College that brought me back. It's really unusual. It's not a perfect town. Nobody lives in a perfect town, but somehow it's umbrellaed from a lot of horrible things that this world goes through. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's the universities there, and there's a high level of educated people, but it brings around this diversity that's amazing. Like I love meeting people from everywhere. So you get to meet a ton of people doing really interesting things like research and stuff that they're doing. And even though that I'm not personally involved with exactly what they're doing, I get to see a lot of it, and it brings a life experience that I really enjoy in this town.
Nice.
It's really cool. It's just hot and humid. It's like a jungle here.
Oh yeah, same in Iowa too, where I'm at. It's insane.
Right on. Yeah. But the town's great. It has a lot of big city features because we can get big acts. There's I guess it's the college basketball arena and complex, but like Metallica has come and big names come through. So without going very far, sometimes I'm able to catch something coming through town.
Oh, sure.
A lot of the big city problems, you know, like it's not like a massive traffic problems, or I want to say crime's low, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. I'm not sure.
Right. Well, usually in college towns, it's not as high as it is other places, though.
No, it's the petty stuff, you know. They get drunk and do rowdy things downtown and stuff like that. That's about it.
Right.
That's about all you ever hear about.
Back to guitars. What else is in your room? What else you got behind you for guitars?
Oh my God.
Obviously, that Gretsch you just got is included in that, right?
Yeah, here's the Gretsch. I'm digging it. I love this Gretsch. I've been playing a lot. Probably I all sweated up from last night because I got playing really late and I didn't clean it up the way I usually do. Boy, the first impression was, boy, when you play this, sound just slams off the guitar like it's really loud. And then I was watching Ben Coombs and he dug in, and I think it's hollow in here.
Yeah.
So I think one day he looked between these two holes. He had these open, and there was light shining through it. So I'm gonna check that out someday. But I'm having a little issues with the nut. I'm either gonna have to throw some graphite in there, or I just got a tube of nut sauce and make sure the tuner's okay, because I've had a tiny bit of tuning stability going off. Like it goes out of tune, and then it's like I got to pull the strings to get the tuning. Things will start going sharp and stuff. So
I think that's a common thing with Gretches, though, because like I have a G5222, the Duo Jet, and I'm having the same issue that you're having with it. Now, granted, mine hasn't had a setup, so once that happens, I think it'll be better. But
yeah, and I have basically a guitar workshop downstairs in my basement. Like if you've seen a video, you'd have seen a shot of it at one point or another. But I think we already ordered a Graphtec nut for possible replacement on that. I might just switch to a Graphtec nut, and I'm not afraid to put new tuners on it because I don't want to get rid of this guitar. I have had so much fun with it. It just plays like a dream.
I'm trying to remember, is that a baritone?
No, this one isn't. It's just standard length.
Okay.
Standard length. I can almost get it on the shot there. Yeah.
Nice.
I forget the whole thing. And it's a licensed Bigsby. So I don't know if that has any play, but it feels good. Like I don't have much to compare it to.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with that. But I remember when I got it, like if all my other guitars were sports bikes, this was like the Harley Springer with tons of chrome on it. Like it's just so fun ride. Like I've really had a fun, and I want to get into some songs that really utilize this Bigsby, that Bigsby sound, that nice, really like sweet tremolo woo sound. Really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this opened up and just work on it a tiny bit, and then I think it's gonna be exactly where we want it. I think that nut's grabbing. Like if you're having some tuning stability, I think that's what we're deciding. That's where it is. And it might be as easy as lifting the strings and just throwing a little pencil graphite in there and seeing if it opens up. But I think I might just go ahead and get a graphite nut on it. Like what the heck? Today's a new guitar day for me. When I go getting yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Did you do the unboxing video yet? Have you filmed it yet or not?
I opened it right away.
What'd you get?
Boy, it's gorgeous. It's right here. It's not in tune yet. I'm gonna have to tune it. This thing, I can't believe how this thing. I'm in a honeymoon phase, so I might be over the top, but I got a PRS Tremonti, the higher end one, not a US one. I got this for a steal. They're usually going for $800. Primax had one for $530 out the door.
Nice.
It's beautiful. It is probably around the same weight as like a Gibson LS Custom.
Nice.
I couldn't believe how nice it showed up. But unfortunately, it's not in tune yet. So I haven't been, I've been like fingering the crap out of it. It's like I only had like a half hour. But
that's the only Paul Reed Smith I've ever had any desire to own is a Tremonti.
oh, right on. I could go for the Holcomb too. The Holcomb is a double cut.
Oh, really?
And I really like the single cut. And what I really wanted to get this guitar for, one of the big sells for me, was the control layout. Your three-way switch up top, that's really nice Les Paul style, right? And then 2 tones and 2 volumes, so you can have something set up really sweet where, you could have your neck pickup maybe half volume, where you have your like little intimate, and when it's time where that rocking part comes, just go ahead and flip down and then bang, like right onto it, maybe not even working a pedal or anything.
Right.
And it has that flame maple, and look how handsome that bind. It's like they just let the maple top carved as like a binding feature on it. It's really handsome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm taken back. And I've been a Schecter guy for a long time, and I know I'm going to have to let some weeks go by. I might be a convert here soon. It feels so good in the hand, and it is really something. Well,
Nice.
There's always something in here. This has been my number one for a while, is a Schecter Evil Twin. This is bad girl. You talk about stability, and this is probably my most expensive guitar too. Tuning stability out the wazoo. Really cool inlays for not being a signature. It's Roman numerals.
Oh, nice.
Numeral 3, Roman numeral 5. I thought that was really cool. Really incredible glow dots on the side. You could
Dude,
just
that neck looks paper thin too.
Oh, it is. And every time I pick it up, it's been in tune. I mean, like maybe a little quick one. Like since I've owned it, I had to lift the nut, and give it one and get the fine adjusters back. That's it. Like it's sick. Fishman Fluence,
Okay.
modern in the bridge, and then another Sustainiac. It's same thing. I got the same switches in the back where you turn on and off.
And those are stock, right? With those?
Yeah, for the Evil Twin.
Yeah.
This is going to set you up. She's a hefty girl. I mean, she's heavy. She's got a lot of, check out this back. It's like unexpected.
Dude, that is gorgeous.
Oh, it's a swamp ash back. And then it is a full neck through. And then,
I love that racing stripe too.
Yeah. And they did that. I can't remember what woods those are. One of them's walnut or something. And then they use some purplish colored one right down the middle.
Oh, okay.
Neck, you caught it. That neck's thin. Not quite a Wizard 3 neck thin.
Okay.
Because I have a couple Ibanez here, and I do like them. Boy, that's a thin neck. Those Wizard 3s. This has just a pinch more material right at those racing stripes, and it feels good in the hand, and I like it. Stainless steel frets, as far as I know. One of the other guitars might have stainless steel, but that's like dancing on glass.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it does anything for tone. I've heard a couple people talk about it making things brighter. I don't hear that, but my hearing might be shot. But
I don't either, Tink, and I have a guitar that has stainless steel frets, and I can't tell either.
Yeah. Oh. No sensation of tonal difference. But when you take that string and I'm doing that, just wiggling on it, there's nothing. There's no grinding feel or anything. Oh my God. Like, yeah, playing this is a real joy. And the Floyd 1500 again, which I'd love to play one of the originals to see how big of a difference between these 1500s and originals, because this is just killer. Like,
see, I'm not a huge Floyd fan, just because I used to work at Music Around where I'm from, and I had to do setups on guitars, and Floyd's were such a pain in the balls to set up.
I have come with a couple nice little tricks, where you when you get it to block it, so you're just about where you want to be, and then bring everything up to it. And it can save you some time.
Oh, sure.
To get those strings up. And like especially if you're going to do something and you like where it's at, just lock it in somehow. Like, even like any pieces of wood or anything that you can, just to freeze it where you're at if you're going to remove stuff and get back. Because if you can get it back and close, you'll still need to do some fidgeting, like you said. But I love the tuning stability of them. Like, once you have it in where you like and it's locked, it seems like you're weeks, you know, on the fine tuners.
Oh yeah.
Do a little bit. But you're right. Like, some of the ones I have Floyd Road specials, and I feel like I'm fighting them sometimes. And there's that other thing. Like, I don't know that it would come across, but like, you hit these strings, and I'm not bending them, but you know, like, because you're bending notes, you only have like a limited amount of how high you can go. So I notice when I'm playing a hardtail and you're really into bending, it's so much more expressive on a hardtail.
Oh yeah.
You're not pulling the strings in, or if you have open chords and you want to work something, you know, on the Floyd, you're diving all your other notes, and that's
right.
kind of. I had my hands on an Evertune recently. They're amazing.
Yeah, they look amazing. I have a luthier buddy that's installed 2 of them for a guitarist that's actually like he's sponsored by Evertune, I guess.
Yes.
And they look awesome.
Boy, do they play really nice. You could hit some things and you could be a little sloppy. You could be pressing down too hard because you're excited, or you just go for a grab and you don't quite go it. And when you hit it, it's in tune. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, these things are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to end up with one of those somehow.
That's why they're $300 too.
Oh, they might be worth it. At least for one, you know, I definitely one I got to try. My last rash of guitars have been hardtails because of exactly the thing we're just saying, you know, like, there is a hassle of playing seesaw with these springs that like really can chew into an afternoon sometimes.
Hey, if you do get an Evertune, Tink, keep in mind too, whoever you take it to, whether you do the work yourself or you have a luthier do it, there's a significant portion of the guitar that has to be carved out for that thing to fit in.
Yeah.
I don't know how familiar you are with them or not, but that luthier buddy I'm talking about did a cut like 4 install videos, and I'm like, dude, this barely fits in this Paul Reed Smith.
If I get one, and you definitely don't have to go down this road, but Evertune sells guitars that they just purchase, you know, and they do the install.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's how, yeah, if you just go, obviously I'm not trying to sell them or anything, but if you go to their website, they usually have a list of about 20 or 30 guitars that they have ready to go.
Nice.
And they did their install, and I think for $20 extra, they'll put it into whatever tuning you want.
Nice.
And what I love about that is that's someone else's hands being on the guitar, making sure it's right. You know, like, we can love the PRSs and the Schechters usually have a nice quality control going on. You know, one of the things I liked about them. But that once Evertune gets it, they're not going to let it go out the door and be crap. At that point, they're going to make sure everything's deadly on it. And Jared got his 7-string from them, and it's deadly. I mean, it is in. It came amazing.
Nice.
If I do, I might get that. I think you're probably paying top dollar for the guitar itself, and I'm usually the bargain hunter, so I'm gonna have to get over that.
Right.
I love bargains. I can't help it. So
I'm the same way, man.
yeah.
That's why I don't have a single guitar in my collection that I paid over $800 for.
Right on. Yeah, because I think these, I'm going to get the price wrong. I think these go for around $1,400. And I bought this guitar and an LTD Arrow at the same time.
Nice.
And this is like a $1,200 or $1,300 guitar. And I'm going to say a bad word, but Guitar Center. They sent me a coupon for 20% off, up to $500 discount. So I was like, I maxed that thing out. I bought the 2 guitars and I think strings and tools and everything I could think of. And that brought the guitars down to like $800 a pop or something like that. So yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing you're doing. I'm trying to be pretty budget friendly. Although I've been spending a lot of money lately. And I went on a pedal freakish craze. Like I didn't even have pedals before, and then I went bananas on that. So.
Oh yeah. So what kind of inspired you to start your own channel then?
That's a great question. I was working like crazy, and I got laid off, and I had some time. And I didn't know what to do with myself. And I had always wanted to make a video. And I had never even turned the camera on my phone, I don't think, to take a video. Like I was really technologically screwed up. And one of my sisters made a home video, like a minute long, and sent it to me through an email. And I was like, I'm going to try to do that. But I was like, I'm going to do guitars, I think, somehow. I think at the time, Ola England made a silly video of his first guitar. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a video of my first guitar. And I kind of
Nice.
did it really, to send to her. But also at the same time, I was watching Phil McKnight and Know Your Gear. And I found Ben Coombs through that show. And I was starting to talk, and I was involved in the chat at that point. And it was such a one-way street. You know, I could see your name, or I could maybe watch your video at the time, but no one could see me. And I wanted to change that somehow. But I was really only just changing it for like 10 or 12 people, you know, like a couple friends. We're going to have a laugh. And that's how it goes. And it kind of took off. Like I really kind of unexpectedly got a couple more subscribers, which I don't have a lot of subscribers. I'm a tiny channel. I don't even know. The last time I checked, I probably had like 20 or 30 subscribers, but that was a while ago. That might have changed.
Let me see. I thought you were at mid 40s when I checked. Give me just a second.
It could be. Because I see someone trickle in that I've never seen before every now and then. But it was just for laughs, to have fun. And it worked out really well. You know, Ben got to watching a couple vids, and I got to be really good friends with him online and hanging out with him. And it's just been almost like a dream come true. This what we're doing right now is so awesome. We get to hang out, talk about gear, talk about our passions, talk about how we got here. I mean, I love this kind of.
You're at 64 as of right now when I just checked.
Right on. That's cool. That's awesome. And on the channel, I try to be really positive. You know, like I want people to pick up a guitar and play it. I want people to come to these channels and feel good about themselves. You know, if I was a rock star and I was on stage, I want them to come to the concert and leave even more energetic and like, you know what, that changed my life. That really changed me. I've had those moments with, you know, I saw Ozzy Osbourne in 2002, and I did not go to that concert to see him. I went to go see Godsmack and Pantera, and it was about 3 other bands that was there, and we stayed for Ozzy, and he changed my life from his stage presence. Like he made me felt like he personally invited me to that concert at that time. Like that's how fun that guy is on stage. And when I'm at work, we're obviously in a spot we didn't really want to be. Like I like to make my coworkers feel like they're having a good time and feel good about themselves, feel good about their work. And then everything changes. You know, everybody, once you have that positivity and everything, people play different and they get more involved and they try a little harder. And sometimes that's all it takes. Even if, like, because where my core, like where I'm driven is not a nice place. Like that's sort of the dichotomy, right? You know, like I'm kind of like half evil and into this horrible stuff, and I could blow the world up at times. And I like some of the music to kind of come from that sometimes. And sometimes I want everybody to dance, you know? And that's what I wanted out of the channel, was like, hey, I'm here too. I really love what you guys are doing, and I want to be a part of it somehow, even if it's a small part. Like, that's all I was ever happy with. I'm never expecting to be sponsored. I don't know who would want to sponsor me. I never expect a nickel, you know, from YouTube, because I don't think I'll ever get that big. But
dude, hey, don't sell yourself short, man. You're a fun dude. Like, I could see you getting a couple thousand subs at least.
That's awesome. Thank you, brother. But that's definitely not my goal. My goal is that if there's 64 of us and that's it forever, let's have the time of our lives at this house party, you know? Like, that's what I want. Like, don't worry about the rest of the world, and don't worry about what are people are thinking. I did notice I got big enough that negative comments start coming in. You know, that was a little different. I didn't expect that right off the bat, but I also knew how the world is. So it's water off a duck's back.
Well, I've even had some negative comments too, like, because I mean, I'm a very average guitarist. Like, you know that from watching my channel. And I had some guy trolling me, like, dude, I watched this just because it's entertaining because you're such a terrible guitarist. I'm like, well, did you watch my introductory video? Like, I clearly state I am average or below average at playing guitar, and that's the whole premise of this channel. And it's like, you're always going to have that. So,
right? It's a journey. We're here, we're at this level, and tomorrow we're going to try to be better than this guy that we were today. Yeah. And I would get like, your video audio is horrific. And I'm like laughing my head off, like, horrific. But he watched the whole thing. And then I go to him and he's sitting around all day playing video games.
right.
Whatever. And I guess it's all attention, I guess. And at least he's interested in music. That's all I could say about it. But
right.
I usually try to respond to everybody too, you know, so like no matter what they say, but very little, like it's not anything a problem. I noticed it in other people's streams. Like Ben Coombs is the most loving, positive, let's have a great time, and then someone will come in and troll him. Or the Philip McKnight show. I noticed more recently than any time ever, like, people are trolling in. I don't know what that's about. They must be really bored, or they have a terrible life or something.
Or they're jealous of like how successful his channel is or something.
Yeah, I guess. I don't even know where to go with it, because I'm sure that Philip's huge. Like, he must have like 250,000 on subscribers, but even at that, like, I really don't know how much he makes from it, because at least he's saying, like, I make most of my money by hustling guitars in the guitar shop and stuff, and I truly believe him. I take him for face value. I don't think he's lying to me. If he's buying it, he's buying it. If he's sponsored, there's a sticker on the screen usually that says, you know, this was given to me, but I don't think he really cares if he gives a bad review. Like, he'll say what's on his mind. So will Ben. That's what I love about him.
Yeah. Hennig Pauly is the same way. That's why I love Hennig's channel too. Have you discovered him yet?
Who is it?
Hennig Pauly. It's the channel's like iChpie 42 or something.
I'll check that out. I'm not sure I've been on.
I'll email you a link, but he's this German dude that's like, he's hilarious. It's like you on steroids.
Oh,
and then he says like really funny shit too. Like, he has some video he posted the other day that he did of this interface, and initially there was some pack that you have to use the interface that they were going to do for free, and the company decided to charge for it. And he was like throwing down like That's a bunch of bullshit. That sucks. Hairy, crusty donkey balls. And I'm like, somebody besides me actually uses that term. That's hilarious. And then like, yeah, he's just funny dude, super informative, but
Right on.
or Tink, maybe do it this way in like 2 weeks, look up 42 Gear Street because he hosts that every year.
Okay, I can remember that one.
Yeah.
Check that out. I'll find him somehow.
Yeah, just do 42 Gear Street. That'll be easiest because he's had two of them so far. He invites like 20 content creators and
Yes.
and a bunch of like gear reps, and they all just get together at his studio because he's like a professional like studio head guy, like where he'll record bands and redo mixes and stuff like that for a fee. And they all gather at 42 Gear Street and just do a ton of content. And it's amazing.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm into checking that out for sure. That's the kind of stuff I love.
Yeah.
I get so wound up about it that come nighttime, I have to watch videos that have nothing to do with music, or I will not go to fucking sleep. I'll just stay up all night long watching these things. Like, it's just too much for me. Like,
I'm the same way.
Yeah. It's taken lately to kind of off topic, but lately to not watch videos. I've been watching a lot of stuff about World War II planes. For some reason, it's just been fascinating to me.
Nice.
I had to think about it. I was like, World War II was like literally like 30 years before I was born. Like, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago to me.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
just trying
especially because there are still World War II vets that are still alive.
Oh, yeah. I was good friends with a couple of them. One was named Al Biner, and he was on the beaches of Iwo Jima. And we sat there, and he told me all sorts of stories about it and stuff. And he was really mentally strong in there. Like, it, I know some guys were really adversely affected by things that have happened over there, you know. And the Vietnam vets that I met were very affected. They were messed up pretty bad. And some that weren't, you know, it wasn't all. I met a few doing other things, just other jobs. But he was so solid. He was such a great guy, and really was an eye opener to learn things that happen in this world. And
Right.
and I've seen it too. I've been in the situations where people have treated human lives like it's, you know, cheaper than a soda can, like pretty bad stuff. And he's been in those situations, and yeah, it's wild, you know. Like, Slayer is one of my greatest bands, and Jeff Hanneman, one of my greatest heroes. His father was a World War II vet and had some of that memorabilia, and they wrote a lot of those songs, you know, based on building some stories out of this stuff. Alice in Chains, Rooster, you know, like there's another example of like finding some inspiration into these things that we find. And that's why it's good to have like other little hobbies. Like I know if I just get sitting here staring at the guitars all the time, you got to take a break from it every now and then, just to like freshen your mind, and then open your eyes up and see what's out there.
Speaking of which, what are your other hobbies? Obviously, you're into World War II stuff, right?
A little. That was been the last 4 weeks. I've been watching some videos on, and the airplanes. The airplanes is what fascinated me. I loved skateboard still. I can't do the tricks no more. I'm tired of breaking ankles and stuff like
Oh,
that.
sure.
But I have a longboard, and out front of my house is the most perfect little wave. You know, like it is just the perfect, and it ends. It flattens out a bit, and then you can do it. And even this Saturday, we have a block party. We shut the street down, and we get all the kids. They'll be going down in their scooters and bikes, and kids, I swear, are only about that big and stuff like that. We get them flying down the hill as much as we can. It's just
Nice.
it's a cool neighborhood, and I love skateboarding. So usually when I need a break or on uploading a video, I'll let the phone do its thing, and I'll go outside and I'll start skateboarding, and then talk to all the neighbors. They always seem to come out working on their gardens. I'll swing by, see how they're doing. It's a lot of fun. Work, unfortunately, I wouldn't call it my hobby, but I'm a union electrician, and that takes it beats the crap out of you. It's a war zone in these places anymore.
That's part of why I got out of it. Because I
don't-
told you I used to be a union electrician as well, right? Before I got into insurance.
Yeah. I've looked for ways out, but oh my God, do they hand you buckets of money for doing this? Like if you're worth your salt, and I try to be, and I'll occasionally run the jobs. I mean, it's good pay. Even with all the education, the degrees I have, I can't make more money than this. It's just, it's crazy. And I love that part. Sweetwater offered me a job just recently, probably because I'm buying so much stuff from them. I think it's a blanket thing. I think if you keep buying stuff, they'll probably send you a job offer eventually.
Nice.
But I have to admit, I fantasize about that. I looked at Fort Wayne, Indiana for a while, like what's to do in this town and stuff. But I
Nice.
don't want to leave here. It's really kind of a cool place where I'm at right now.
So what's coming up on the channel then?
I should do some reviews. The Gretsch for sure. Like I'd like to do like a follow up on that. I did the platinum. I did the 7-string. The PRS something will probably happen with that because oh my God, am I in a honeymoon phase? But the one video I want to do soon is I think I've bought just about every Behringer pedal that you can. And I went from I had 2 pedals, like a rat pedal, which they're awesome, and a Crybaby, which I think
Okay.
kind of one of those things where if you're going to own 2 pedals, that might be a good starting spot. Boy, I got interested, especially Ben Coombs, right? He's talking about pedals constantly and everything. So now I've gotten to try all these things. Chorus, distortions, octaver, vibrato, equalizer, compressors, modelers. Now that I've had them, I want to take that group of Behringer and I think I want to talk about it because I think there's some phenomenal things about Behringer that's awesome. One's the price, like 19, 20 bucks a pop, or maybe they jacked it up to 25 bucks at this point. Some of them are dead on with some other pedals. I mean dead on. Like I would end up, I have a Boss Metal Zone now, and the Ultra Metal, I mean to tell you, it is so close to that pedal. I think the Metal Zone has more range. Like that's oftentimes, like I notice this now, like the better pedals are having more range and they do it a little cleaner. But I want to bring the point, like Behringer is a great way to get your feet wet.
It is.
And I think you'll be like, okay, I don't need a tremolo, but I want a vibrato and I want a phaser for sure and stuff like that. And you can play with them. I think there's a few that you'll always keep. The vintage tube overdrive is definitely a tube screamer.
Oh, yeah.
If you can put up with the fact that they're in a plastic box, you're good for a long time.
And that's what I think why people poo-poo Behringer so much is because of the construction on them. But like I'm trying to think of which one it was. I had, what's that yellow one that's behind? I think it's yellow behind you. I had a yellow Behringer pedal that was really good, and I can't remember what effect it was.
Okay, the one Behringer yellow one I have is a graphic equalizer.
That's what it was. I mean, it lasted a long time. I traded somebody else for it, though.
And that's the one that can be on the board that you don't have to rack, right? Because you probably turn it on and that's it.
Right.
So for like where I'm at right now, I'm almost always in the studio. Like I don't have to gig up and try to get to the bar and home every night. They're perfect. Except now I'm noticing like I started buying Boss pedals now and I'm like, okay, there's some sonic differences here, you know, like
Right.
I am noticing certain things, but I think there was only like 2 or 3 or 4 Behringer pedals that I didn't get that Sweetwater has. Like, I'm not that interested in reverb. I have reverbs and amps usually and stuff like that. And it's not an effect I use that much.
Right.
There was a couple others that I'm not, can't come off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm starting to slide to the next level up and like starting to change things. And they'd always be talking about LPD pedals, and I'm starting to see the light. Like, okay, you know, I think I'm going to get an 87 one day in my life, but I can get, you know, 3 maybe Boss pedals for the same price right now. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, but I mean, with Boss, it's a big corporation, whereas with LPD, shout out to Lawrence, by the way, if he's watching this.
I hope you watch.
Yeah. You're supporting a small builder like Lawrence, which I personally would rather do. But, you know, if people can't afford it, they can't afford it, you know.
That's where I'm at. Of course I want it. It's just, I'm still in this experimental phase where I'm trying to get like, you know, I want the steak dinner, but if I go through the McDonald's drive-through, I can get about 10 cheeseburgers, you know?
Right, exactly.
I'm still in cheeseburger phase.
So are you going to do all those as individual videos, or are you going to group them together, or what do you think?
That I've been playing with in my head. I was thinking of, there are about 4 or 5 that have become favorites. And I think I want to do a core one about that and then talk about them all general. So that's either going to be 1 video or 2 videos, or as you said, like, do you break it? Because it's easy to talk about one. I mean, 10 minutes flies by on this. It's like, this sounds like this and this sounds like, and a pedal could sound like way different with some crazy values, you know, depending what you have. Like, so I'm going to have to play with that a bit. It was nice when I had way more time, you know, because now it's like, if I want to get a video out, the evenings are tough because I'm usually shot, and then I practice, and then the evening is over.
Right.
It's so quick. Weekends, I usually try to get one out on Saturday or Sunday if I can, but lately it's been playing something. I haven't been reviewing as much, but there's some new gear here that I would definitely like to do.
So see, for me, I like to stretch things out into as many videos as possible, right? So like any pedal I get, there's going to be an unboxing, a first impression, and a deep dive. That way because I film like 12 or 15 episodes ahead usually, and have like 4 or 5 edited at a time, so I can just keep uploading. And I like to, you don't have to do this, but I like to stretch my gear out to as many videos as I could possibly get, just so I don't have to spend a fortune buying new gear all the time. Like I can splurge 1 month and have like 3 months worth of content before I have to start buying shit again, you know?
I hear that. I think I'm always looking for, like, what do I want to see? And I've made videos like on guitars, and by the time I'm done, it's a 20-minute video. And I've edited the snot out of it by the end of usually I film it. I get an idea in the morning, come up with some idea how I want to do it. And then shoot all the footage and then edit it that night. And I try to upload it either that night or the next day. I did teach myself that you might want to take some time editing once, set everything down, go get a meal, go stare at get some fresh air and come back, because what you thought was funny or a joke or something, you might think differently of, or
Right.
Sometimes better ideas or better joke, you know, like something you can do that's clever. I have realized that I've rushed stuff out before, but I started trying to get the videos down in time. Like, that people have an attention span that's only so long. And
Yeah. I think 10 to 15 minutes is about the sweet spot.
yeah,
Somewhere in there.
but boy, you start shooting stuff and it's not like you're trying to pad it up, but like, you try to talk about a guitar intelligently and what you think people are interested. in 12 minutes. And you're literally like this. Oh, look at this paint job. Okay, this is it. Like, you're going so fast, and you get done, and it's 18 minutes still. Like,
Right.
I can't go any faster. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to discipline myself into having like a nice routine, because I know people are going to be interested. If you do the unboxing, they want to know how did it come? I don't know who watches the videos exactly, but they probably want to get the guitar and not want to work on it. And I get that. Like, if I got a guitar and it was like the neck was bananaed and it just needed like adjusted, no big deal, take it down the shop. I got all the measuring, all the tools, 15 minutes, we're in. Someone else, that could be a nightmare. All of a sudden they're calling the music stores around them. Do you have a guitar tech there that can fix my guitar that I just bought for $800? Like, I think that's the stuff they wanted to hear in the unboxing. And then I think the review, they want to see what it looks like. They can't touch the guitar, so I'm their hands trying to say everything. And to me, the neck's just about everything. How that neck feels, you certainly don't want neck sprout, but the thickness, is it cowboy cording? Is it the 9.5 radius? Is it, crazy 14-inch, flat? How's my hand sit? And then a little bit of the body. Like, I start to like pointy guitars more, because you can grab it with your legs and your body and really like get down on it. But I'm a Strat style guy. I've been for so long, and now I'm just starting to get into these single cuts a little bit. I don't know that I'll ever own a Gibson though. I'm still having trouble with them.
Dude, Vintage, the brand, has totally squelched my desire to own a Gibson, because I have 3 of their Les Paul style guitars, and I have played at least a dozen or 2 dozen Gibsons in my life, and in my opinion, all 3 of those vintages sound just as good as any Gibson I've ever played.
That's awesome. Yeah.
They're only like $550.
Totally. We have access to some of these guitars. Like, I don't own them, but friends that are interested in everything we're doing have the $5,000 to $8,000 Gibsons. And I think we're just bringing them over, and we're constantly like trying stuff out. If you like that baseball style bat neck and stuff, it's hard to not want to lean towards them. But
Right.
for price, I just think there's so much awesome equipment out there that I'm really enjoying at less prices. And they're still name brands. There's still brands people that don't even play music are going to recognize and stuff. So.
Well, and Tink, the nice thing now is like manufacturing processes have gotten so good that the guitars at the $350 range up to $1,000 are markedly better than they were even like 5 years ago.
Totally. And
I would not have bought the Squier Tornado behind me 5 years ago, because that's how much of a dumpster fire Squier was 5 years ago. But this guitar is one of the best playing guitars I own.
It is amazing. And I'm so glad you picked that price range. Jared and we bought that Ivy, out of curiosity, because people are like, these budget guitars are great. And we're like, man, like, I don't know. To me, it felt like a machine built the guitar. It's just like human hands didn't touch it at some point. Like,
right.
But it wasn't bad. It looked fantastic out of the box. That particular one we got needs a new nut. It was just completely wrong.
Yeah, I remember him saying something about that. Like, the nut was all messed up.
Oh, it played like a sitar on the high E. It's crazy. They have that.
I remember that.
And but again, there's something that we didn't mind, because Jared has a guitar tech shop like I do. To us, it's a toy. We're going to take it and maybe just tear the neck off and everything and do all sorts of stuff to this guitar, because that's what it was to us. But who are they marketing it for? Like, I think a beginner's looking at, I want to try to play guitar, but I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. It's definitely not a seasoned guitarist that said, I want 10 guitars and I want to spend $1,000, you know?
Right.
And they're close. I just think that, I don't know, does that guy try to hack through with that guitar? Like, does he stick with it or not?
Well, I mean, some of those guitars are, once you set them up, like those two Glaries I just had on the channel, I think with the setup, those would be fine for a beginner. Like if you put a new nut on them, you set them up the way you want, and you have the intonation corrected.
Yeah.
You're good to go. You don't need a $230 Squire, and you got at least 3 to 4 years to save up to upgrade, you know?
Totally. But I don't know that he expected that, you know, because they don't know that they were getting into that.
Right.
The beginner, that is. And for them to buy the guitar with all that work, or if they bought the guitar and once you included their time and the money and the guy to do it for them, or if they just hope maybe they learn how to do it themselves, that would be really cool. They're at the $350 guitar that we're saying, like, yeah, that's the price range that I think they should start at for sure, and then be happy right out the gate, you know?
Right. Well, and a lot of $350 guitars now are so good. I mean, like that one back there, if I was a brand new guitarist, I would play that one for like 10 years before I buy anything else. If I was gigging and not doing YouTube, that'd be totally fine for a while.
I have a guitar here that's not mine. It's a friend's or a customer guitar. And this is a Schecter. The Omen Extreme. They gave you a flame maple top and, you know, house pickups, a pretty cool neck, fair house tuners. And this guitar is awesome. This is 300. We got it from Primax, so it was a B because it had one little bubble blemish. I don't know that I could get that in the camera. Whoa,
I can't see it.
I'm going to try the best I can. There's a little bubble right there, right on the edge of the neck pocket. And that was the only blemish. $350. They discounted it $100 for that bubble. And
nice.
Like you said, like there's that price range that's perfect for it. It had some fret sprout, but I told him to order everything and I was just going to take care of him, you know, because he was a buddy of mine. But like, you're right. Like you get into this and like, just a couple, like $150 more, you're here, as compared to some questionable fucking guitars.
Yeah.
At least, I think the only mistake, not a mistake, if I tried another Ivy, I would try one that wasn't a hollow body. I think those hollow bodies, like, a machine could just about put these together, but those hollow bodies, they're going to have to build that hollow, and you're going to have people by hand build that cavity, because you're almost like a acoustic guitar at that point.
Right.
And then they're going to have to cheap out somewhere else to try to hit their price point. So they're going to give you some screwed up pickups, and maybe that's where the nut went haywire, because they were trying to rush something to hit a price point. Trying a solid body guitar, I think someone would have a lot more luck with. I think they dump a little bit of money into that hollow body stuff.
Yeah. Another brand, Tink, that you should look at that I think you'd like based on the style of music you're into. Have you ever considered Chapman guitars?
I've seen a lot of people checking them out. Yeah, that would be one that I would look at.
That ML3 Modern, that Abyss that I've done 2 videos on, like the turquoise and purple one, hands down my favorite guitar by a landslide.
They look very comfortable to play. They have a kind of a rounder body, like they kind of routed around that body pretty heavy, didn't they, on those guitars?
Well, I
Like,
mean, they have a lot of different styles of them, but yeah, those are the ML3s are definitely more rounded than a Telecaster.
I like that. The Squire was always comfortable because it was just so roundy to me coming around. A lot of these guitars have like hard edges on it, and when it has that hard lipped edge and a binding on it, sometimes you get like kind of like wear on your arms right where you're resting all the time.
Right.
Uh, Charvel's another guitar that I've never owned. At one time I would like to get my hands on and try out. Actually, if I could try one at all, it would be the Satchel edition from Steel Panther.
Oh, that one. Okay. Nice.
They have the tiger stripe and some really loud 80s colors. Like I kind of have this thing like all my guitars are black. You know, it's kind of like almost like how I have to start. But if I had to have the wild one, I think I could see getting a Satchel guitar. I think he's great.
I think if I get a wild one, it's going to be a Kramer Beretta,
Yes.
like one of their $190 ones that Gibson makes now that Gibson bought them out. They didn't have any at the Gibson garage. Otherwise, I might have come home from Nashville with one.
Right on. I'll have to keep I've been keeping my eyes on like some of, like I said, I'm always looking for a bargain. So I'm always checking people's B stock, and boy, cosmetic blemishes don't bother me so much because I use the crap out of my guitars. None of these are case queens at all. They're always out. I think I'm going to have to build a wall rack here soon, like you have. I was looking at hangers recently, and I'm going to try to figure out how to get like a wall of guitars going here just to get them off the floor, because I've literally got them everywhere. There's like a path through the room to get past everything right now.
Right. Well, or you could do those ones that's like the rack.
Yes.
That only where it's got like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know, without wrecking everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure. I can see that.
there's some acoustics sitting out there on that one, and you're seeing quite a bit of the collection. There's some in the back. There's some upstairs. I sleep with the guitar usually, so
Nice.
one ends up upstairs with me, like a harem.
That's awesome. Cool, man. Well, I got nothing else for you. Is there anything else you want to chat about?
No, I don't know. I've been experimenting with picks a lot lately, like a crazy amount, I've been trying just about everyone. Like, I don't know how well the camera picks. I have them a little bit organized right now, but was really trying like different thicknesses, different shapes. The ones that are super sharp like this, I thought I would like a lot, but they're a little bit difficult to play with. Like, you got to watch how you're choking up on them.
Did I see some of these in there, Tink? The Dunlop Tortexes, the orange ones that are the .63s.
Yep.
That's right about perfect for me for thickness. The 0.6 or 0.60s or whatever, and then the 0.73s, the yellow ones, are about as thick as I like.
Right on. That's about where I'm at. Like, so I was trying. So the range of picks that I have is about from there back. Like, there's a small tray of like thicker ones that I was trying because people kept saying like I play this thicker pick, and I gave it a whirl. But I play rhythm a lot more than soloing.
Yeah.
So I'm banging, strumming all the time, and having just, that kiss of give. It really helps me out and plays. Some of them are really grippy. This is the nylon Dunlops. It's not going to come across on the camera, but they're textured really hard, so they're super grippy.
Yeah, so they are those the ones that have the little thing like as on old people's bathtub mats, kind of.
Yes.
You know, I'm talking to that same analogy. Yeah.
Yes, that's very good. I like that. They stick in your hand right where you put them, but sometimes you don't realize how much you fidget with your pick. Like, maybe you choke up on it a little in this part and go down, and they can be a little bit sticky in your hand. But for about a week or so, I've been playing with these, and I think I like them a lot.
Nice.
There's an inner version of it.
I think the thing I like about the Tortex's Tink is they come with like that kind of dusty coating on them when you first get them, so
Yeah.
they don't slip. It's almost like having, like, if did you ever play baseball
Oh yeah.
growing up? Like a pitcher having the rosin bag. It's almost like that a little bit to me.
Same company with the same plastic, Tortex, same plastic. They have that Gator line, so it
Oh
has the
yeah.
alligator on it. I think the whole point of them is that they're slightly grippier in your hand. And it's fun because, you know, a pack of 12 is like $3.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's an experiment, you know, like you get on Sweetwater or wherever you order all your stuff from. And like, that's what I've been doing. I've been like, get an order and then throw 2 or 3 packs of picks in and see how it does. And what's crazy is, like, I got jazz picks and I can't use them worth of crap, but I played with them for about an hour. And it's cool how it inspires your music to play. Like, it changed, it made me go in a totally different direction.
Oh right.
And if I had anything else to say, it's that, like, positive, good energy, play your guitar like crazy, and have fun at it. I don't know. It's all about having fun and being positive to me.
Yeah.
Even if everything comes from a negative area, be positive around those around you. And I think a lot of cool things come your way.
I agree. One more thing I just thought of. What are you working on right now specifically with your playing? Like any theory stuff or because for me it's a lot of pentatonic scales, and then I'm going through that oh, what the hell's that? That not fretboard logic. It's kind of like that.
Oh, right on.
There's a book I'm working through and I can't freaking remember what it's called. Anyway, go ahead.
There's a YouTuber named Bernth. I'm not sure where he's from. He's like Netherlands or Norway or something. And he's a shredder like crazy. But he always has this, like, here's a great 5 or 10 minute warm up in the morning and stuff, where he'll go down to major scale and you're supposed to pick, you know, alternate picking, but you skip strings as you pick each time to try to get your indexing down. I've been doing that in the morning, but I'm almost always learning a song. Like, my passion, because there's nobody around me usually, is cranking the stereo up as loud as I can and jamming with the band. So if I always get that song that I'm like, yeah, that's the song, I got to learn that song. Like, I'll usually be chipping at that. My problem is I have a list of, looks like about 50 or so songs that are in my head right now. And sometimes I'm like, I'm going to go play that song. And I'm like, oh, I have to go look at the tabs quick or something.
Right.
Because it's been too long and I got to relearn the song. So the last couple of weeks, I feel like I've been doing a lot of song maintenance on my set list, my imaginary set list that I have.
Nice.
That's probably what I've been working on the most. And Jarrett being around has been kind of an alpha dog. So I feel like I'm chasing him a bit. So he's always showing me little tricks, and like, he'll solo like crazy. And then he'll be like, this is a lot easier than it's looking. You know, it's a little bit of smoke and mirror here. So like, he's kind of guiding me a little bit, which that's fantastic. Having, if you could have a music teacher in your life, or if you went and took lessons, I don't think it would get you further in life being a guitarist, but it might get you somewhere faster, having someone watching you and stopping you before you make like crazy mistakes or learn something backwards all the time.
Right.
But also, I like doing stuff my own way, so it's a give and take there.
Well, this is a term you'll understand. That was something I liked about the trade, is when you got, you know, as an apprentice, when you got tooled up with the exact right journeyman.
Yes.
Right. That like taught how you learned and was patient with you and let you make mistakes and didn't chastise you for it. That was, like, to me, what you're talking about right now.
Yes. Let's do that with guitars. Let's be that guy, because that apprentice, when you're doing that with them, they'll tell you, it's been a while since I couldn't wait to get to work. Like, they are excited to be there and have fun and learn things and do it the right way. And then the stress gets away from them and stuff like that. And they really open up. Like, that's our goal. That's what I want to do, to spread the good word of guitar.
Awesome. Well, those of you watching this, thank you again. This has been another episode of Creator Hangout with Tinkerbell. I will post a link to his channel in the comments below, or the description, I should say. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have fun playing.
Thank you, brother.